Hello everybody and welcome back. In today's video we are going to be covering a Neville Goddard lecture, and it's actually 3 points of a lecture from the one called Imagination Creates Reality. And this lecture in itself is so powerful and has so many gems that I'm gonna have to make multiple videos on it. So if you're feeling a little afraid, you're feeling bothered by the 3D, maybe you don't even realize how powerful you are, then this video is for you, and I hope you guys enjoy it, and I know a lot of you will. So that being said, I just want you guys to really chew on what's being said by Neville in this, and it's so powerful, and there's so many points that I wish I could throw into this video, and I already know one off the top of my head that I know I'm gonna love talking about, but it's not gonna be in this one. But don't worry, this one, it doesn't mean it's gonna be any less good, okay? So all I ask is, if this video gives you any value, to hit that like button, so the same way it helped you and the same way you discovered me, someone else can discover me, and then they can get help as well. So moving forward, as you already know, I'm Michael from embodiedestate.com, and welcome everybody that's new, and those of you that have been here for a while, welcome back guys, and let's just dive right into it. So the first part is, it doesn't matter what you have been taught, you can change your beliefs and so change the circumstances of your life. That's already a key point that you have to remember. The Bible states that when you pray, believe that you have received it and you shall have it. Most of us have read that statement or heard it at some times. Few people have actually prayed in that manner. Have you ever been ill and prayed for health? If you needed money, did you believe when you prayed that you already had the sum that you asked for? Most people pray to God to change something in their life, and that's a lot of people, right? They're doing techniques all the time to change something in their life, but they're stuck on that, please change, and that's the big mistake people make, right? So anyways, most people pray to God to change something in their lives or to give them something they do not have. If the prayers were not answered, they think that God had a reason for withholding that particular thing. They think that perhaps God didn't grant their request because he didn't want them to attain their desires for some reason only known to God. Man sometimes thinks that God doesn't answer prayers because man is undeserving of that which he seeks. Man must learn to believe in that which he does not, at the moment, see in order to grant himself that which he desires to have. Man's prayers are always answered, for he always receives that which he believes. Let that sink in, guys. He always receives that for which he believes, right? And that's why when you guys, you know, so many people come to me from parts of like effort-based manifestation of, I've been doing techniques for, 8 hours a day and blah, 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 but they've been feeling like crap, right? That's what they're identifying with. Therefore, that's where their belief lies dominantly. So the reflection has to say, okay, so be it. Here you go, right? And anyways, the law that governs prayer is impersonal. Belief is the condition necessary to realize the desire. No amount of pleas or ritual will bring about the fulfillment of your desires other than the belief that you are or have that which you want. So that alone is it's so powerful because it's telling you, right? Think of that quote, when you pray, believe you have received and it will be so. When I first started my journey, I took that literally, and I didn't even know what Neville meant by feeling. I thought he was always referring to emotion. So lucky for me, I could always, in other words, experience emotion easily by just, in other words, imagining things. So when I thought of my goals, whether it was, financial success, whether it was SP, stuff like that, I would literally think, like, without even asking myself, like what it would be like if it was true. And I would really think about that. And in that moment, I would feel, in other words, grateful. I would feel relief. I'd feel this, like this wave just hit me, which I knew in my head at the time. I'm like, that must be what Neville's talking about because I feel different than I did 5 seconds ago. And I didn't realize till later that he meant it's the conviction, the knowing when he refers to feeling. But emotion does play a very important role, and he does talk about it in one of the points that I'm about to cover next. But keep in mind, it's about believing that you receive something, right? Don't just vainly say that you are something, but then the whole time you feel like crap. It's like the saying from what Neville mentioned, and I'm going to just paraphrase it, but, it's when feeling is in conflict with imagination, feeling will always be the victor, right? What you feel dominantly, in other words, what you accept as true, is always going to win over whatever you're daydreaming about while contradicting it with what you're believing, right? With what you're identifying with. So in other words, if you want whatever it is you want, whatever your goal is, it doesn't matter. When you think about it, in the moment, doesn't matter if it's, like 100 different times you have 100 different pictures in your head when it pops up. each time, just have fun. Of course, you don't have to be perfect, but I always say aim for perfection, because even if you miss, hey, you're still going to hit the stars, right? So try to get as many of those little things, like those desires, when they hit you, realize like it's literally there for you to just remember that it's already yours. So in that moment, believe that you received it. That desire is like God saying, here's a gift that's promised to you. All you got to do is claim it. And you have to just believe that you received it, right? Say thank you if you want, right? Neville all the time talks about just giving thanks when a desire hits you, and then walking away in confidence and patience, knowing that it's going to come. And really like protect that seed that you just planted. And that's what, you know, what I want you guys to really take from that is really understanding that all you have to do is focus on whatever it is that you want. It doesn't matter. I don't care if it's a relationship. I don't care if it's money. I don't care if it's a raise. I don't care if it's health for somebody that gave you bad news. Whatever it may be, you want to bless somebody else. When you think of that topic, that desire, I just want you guys to literally, in that moment, whatever's on your mind, believe that you have received it, right? So for people that are manifesting money, maybe you're broke now. Maybe you don't really have the money you wanted, the freedom you want, but you can imagine what you would be doing if you had it, or you could at least see a picture of something that would imply it to you. Or even if you're, you know, some people just think in thoughts without pictures, right? Can you be aware of like at least buying a car, even if you don't see it in your mind? And if so, how would you feel if that was true, right? How would you feel if you actually were able, like in that moment, to just purchase that vehicle, and which would imply you have the finances to do it, right? Would you feel proud? Would you feel, you know, relieved? Would you feel anything positive in that sense, right? And the answer is most likely yes. But remember, it's not the emotion you're chasing, even though yes, the emotion does play an important role. It's the knowingness, that it's being convinced, that it's the acceptance of a new fact is what you should focus on, because that's what then releases that emotion that everyone seeks. And oftentimes it seems like the emotion comes first, but believe me, it's belief first, emotion second, okay? So whatever it is that you ask for, whatever it is that's on your mind, whenever it pops up, believe that you have received it. Be thankful for it. Smile and understand that you're literally looking at, and you're thinking of a reality that exists. You couldn't want this if it wasn't a spoken word of God that was promised to you, okay? So that covers the first part. Next part, it says the conscious mind forms beliefs and opinions from the evidence of the senses or the perceived outer world. The creative power within each of us accepts as true that which the conscious mind impresses upon it. Your creative power takes those ideas which are thought of with feeling and projects them in your outer world. It is important to remember that not all thoughts are creative, and this is key point. Not all thoughts are creative. Only those which are believed to be true or which are joined with feeling create the circumstances and events that you will encounter. Therefore, emotions such as anger, fear, love, or joy are creative. And even Seth talks about this in Seth's work too, how creative emotions actually accelerate the result, the manifestation coming, because you're think of it like this, right? Even if this, to some people, they might say, oh, that's not accurate, but just think of it like this. Your subconscious mind understands emotion more than anything, if it helps you to view it like that. So when you feel that emotion, it's like the native language that it speaks. Your higher self knows what it is. So when you feel that relief, that like I finally got it, in that moment, your higher self knows what that relief means, right? And therefore, it imprints on you the fastest, that it helps you big time. Trust me. I know this because when I discovered the law, I accidentally was doing that over and over and over. And in a matter of days, I had results, knowing less than a lot of you guys watching this video. So keep that in mind. Emotion is not the end-all be-all, but it is important, and it does play a positive role if you know how to react. So anyways, emotions such as anger, fear, love, or joy are creative. You must guard the emotions which you allow to enter your consciousness, just as you would discriminate in allowing a stranger into your home. Right? That's such a key point, right? So many times we are untrained. We allow ourselves to look at the 3D and to then react, right? Today I had a moment as well, right, where I saw something in the 3D. I had no reason to react to it internally, but when I saw it, my heart dropped for just a split second. And I was like, oh no. I was like, why did I allow that? But I wasn't beating myself up. Just how I'm laughing about it now, I understand it doesn't matter. It's not going to ruin anything. And plus, I know that I can contradict it. In other words, counter it by doing the opposite, right? And, you know, one time is not going to ruin anything, because I fulfill myself so many times. But I saw one thing and I noticed my heart just go boop, it dropped, and I was like, oh, and then I was like, I didn't catch it. And I was like, it's okay. It's part of being human. But I can laugh about it because I understand it's not going to ruin anything. So if you guys have that experience, trust me, it's okay. But think about it. So majority of the time, I'm literally guarding how I react. That's why I tell my clients, I want you to observe as God, not observe as if your name's Tanya or Christopher or whatever your name is. Don't observe as that. Don't observe as, you know, and those of you that from my TikTok lives, you'll remember Melissa was the name I used often in my examples, right? If you're one of the OGs. So it's like, Melissa, if you're like, don't look at it like Melissa. Instead, look at it like you're actually the creator. Like, for just a split second, just pretend, like, believe that you're the creator of your reality, and that your entire outside experience is shaped on what your dominant reactions and awareness and beliefs are, right? So when you see things, practice your reactions, guys. I don't expect you guys to be robots, because even I'm not a robot. Even Neville wasn't perfect. He talks about it, right? I don't think any coach should be sitting here pretending that they're perfect and they don't make mistakes. Believe me, guys, like, I make mistakes all the time. But the thing is you now know better, so you don't have to repeat them. So when you see anything happening or any thought pops in your head, remember, just like it says, you must discriminate and allow. It's, in other words, be conscious regarding the bad thoughts and the beliefs and the reactions you have, as if you would discriminate against a stranger coming into your home. Same thing, right? Don't just let it enter and penetrate you and to then, you know, poison the well. Right? Observe it and ask yourself, like, do I want this thing as an experience in my future 3D? If the answer is no, or do I want to prolong it? If the answer is no, then, you know, you realize, then wait, as a creator, why would I keep reacting to this, right? And then you're going to start practicing, oh wait, I noticed I didn't react to that one. Wow, okay, good, congratulations, that's a big win. Now, the next time you do it, it's going to be a little bit more natural. And the more you practice this, it's going to be more fun and enjoyable for you guys. I'm telling you, this stuff is... It seems hard, and I get it, because we're so used to the 3D and our senses, you know, and as I was telling a client the other day, like, our senses rob us. Like, we're here, yes, they allow us to experience good stuff, but they also rob us. It's part of the challenge, it's part of the game. And your senses often rob you of in other words, the desire being manifested, because your senses will show you, oh, they're not giving you attention, or oh, the money is not in your bank account, you know, the SP's off with other people, or their follower count went up. So, and then you're worried, oh, who do they follow, or who followed them, and blah blah blah. And by doing that, you're looking through your senses, and I know a lot of you are guilty of this, and you're then reacting to it, which is then pretty much saying, hey, like, imagine God is like you're calling God through like a pizza line. It's like, hey, pizza, yeah, sure, I want you to deliver this. And you're talking to God, by the way, and you're like, yeah, I just reacted to this, so that's me saying, this is who I believe I am. Please bring it to me. Like, please keep this the same way if it's already in my life. But if it's not, like, make sure you start sending out a truck to deliver it. Thank you. And then you hang up. And then you don't contradict it at all. And you let that fester. And then it shows up. And then people come to me and they're like, I don't know how this happened. You know, I've been doing everything great. And, you know, lo and behold, there's always a reason. So, you know, just really think about that. Like, practice your reactions and really, like, start checking what you want to react to. And I'm telling you, the more you practice reacting to the desires that hit you, that you want, and you react to those and you enjoy those experiences, and you do whatever it is that you want in that moment in your mind, and you feel it real, and in other words, you identify with it, trust me, that's going to make everything easier. And the more you're able to observe the scary stuff, the more you're able to observe the 3D and the negative thoughts, you're able to understand, I don't have to be afraid of these. These are literally just thoughts. And if I don't give them life through my constant awareness and reactions, emotions, so on and so on, they're not going to hurt me. I can just observe them the way I would a cloud passing by. Are you afraid of clouds? No. Okay, so then why would God, right? Same thing. If God wouldn't be afraid, then why would you be afraid? You're in full control. It's your personal reality. You get to choose what you're going to believe as a fact. The question is, can you toss your reasoning mind away in those moments and truly believe that you're actually the creator of your reality? Can you believe that you are a fragmented version of God? Can you believe that God became man so that man could realize that they are God, right? And that's what you have to realize, guys, okay? So take that into into your mind and really think about that and really digest that, because it's so important to understand that when you practice your reactions to things through understanding of how the law works, how the universe works, what you actually are, and so on, then this stuff isn't so scary. And trust me, I myself always, you're not here to have an easy, perfect life. Even me today, I have things that are scary in my life, and it's so, a part of me is like, man, it sucks, because obviously you want to snap your fingers and just have like the dream life, right? You want to have yachts, you want to have lobster every day, you want everyone to be billionaires in your family and stuff like that, and you want everyone to be healthy, no cancer here, no sickness there, blah blah blah. But it's like, I understand, I'm appreciative also for the hard parts, because the hard parts are what make you grow. Your higher self does not want to have an easy life, because if it did, then it wouldn't have come to earth. It would have gone to a reality, a different realm, a different, world where everything's easy peasy and you have your love and you never need food or whatever it may be. But we chose to come here, and we forgot that we were God. Like, that's the thing. Like, God had to forget, in other words, become human, to forget that they were God, so that the human version can realize, wait a minute, God's within us. We can actually control this whole, whatever you want to call it. Some people call it the Matrix. Some people call it, a training ground. It's a playground for gods. It's a kindergarten for God. So really, like, enjoy it, guys. Don't be afraid. And even I take the things that scare me, and I learned from my reactions. When I react to things, I'm not afraid. Sorry, my dog's guarding the door again. And I'm not reacting to the things that scare me often, right? Because if they scare me once, I'm like, oh, this shows me a weakness now. This shows me a weak link in my chain. Perfect. Thank you, higher self. You showed me what I can work on. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm focusing on. And I use that all the time. It's like, be grateful for your challenges. Be grateful for feeling the way you do when you feel powerless, because it's showing you feel powerless and you don't like it, because it doesn't resonate with who you really are on the inside, right? How can God feel powerless? That's why you're never going to accept it, because you're not meant to accept it, guys. And really, I want you to take that home. And sorry for going on the rant. It's just I felt inspired to tell you guys that, because I don't want you guys thinking that I'm perfect either, right? I have things that I'm always working on. And if I didn't, I wouldn't want to be alive, right? I'm not here to have an easy, simple life. And even when I always achieve the things that seem so scary to me, and the thing that I'm working on right now, trust me, it seems scary to me now, but I know I will get it. And I know I will get it because I have it within myself, right? It's even in the back of my head as I speak right now. I carry it with me, which is going to be something I talk about in one of my future videos. So the next thing, to kind of just get onto the last point, is pretty much God became you so completely that he forgot that he was God. In becoming man, God reached the limit of contraction and opacity. God totally forgets that he is God in order to become and animate his creation. Man. God then goes through all of the experiences of knowing good and evil and even death in confidence that man will eventually awake from this dream of life to once again know that he is God. There is only one God in the universe fragmenting himself as humanity, and God plays all the parts in this time-space dream. Your own wonderful human imagination is God in action. I am is Christ in you. It's your Savior. And Christ is the power of God and the wisdom of God. God speaks to us through desire, urging us to reach higher and higher levels of awareness, exercising his own wonderful human imagination to achieve these desires. Man is actually experiencing God in action. Through faith in his imagination, man will eventually conclude that Christ, the power and wisdom of God, is within him as his imagination. At the end of this fabulous journey or dream of life, man will awaken to remember that he is God, the Father, enhanced by the experiences he puts himself through. Let that sink in, guys. Go back and re-listen to that if you need to. It's like, it's telling you, like, God fragmented himself. God became us. And that's the beautiful part I love about reading this little part of the lecture. It's so beautiful because we forget who we are and we're living like peasants. It's like the saying goes that we're all kings and queens, but we've played the role of a beggar, that we've been doing it so long that we forgot who we actually are. So moving forward, guys, I want you to stop living your life like you're the beggar, right? Remember that you are literally royalty. You are children of the Almighty. You are children of the King of all kings, the most intelligent thing to ever exist. You are a piece of them. And because you are a piece of them, it is your birthright to experience what it is that you want. And that's why it makes no sense to sit there and to be afraid. And that's why I can smile on days that I have bad mental diets because of my reactions, but I understand it's only temporary. Yeah, you may have got me today as an example, but I got your ass tomorrow, and that's how I look at it, right? And even the moment you react, every moment after that is a new moment to recreate yourself, right? So I don't even wait till the next day. I go right after it, because if something scares me to my core, that's something worth looking at. And I literally dive into it. I don't hide from it, because I understand I'm the creator. What is there to hide from? Everything is within me. All is mind. So I really want you guys to understand that everything is within your control. There is no cause outside of you. You literally have God within you. You have this piece of God. You're the soul, and that soul is the piece of God, and it's within the shell of yours, right? This shell is just the vessel that it needs to experience being human, and to have the weaknesses and the temporary life here, and to experience this dream. But I'm telling you guys, it's not as scary as you think it is. So really, just trust me on this. If you're afraid, if you're worried, if you're loveless, you're worried that you're not going to get what you want, or you're about the money or the health or whatever it may be, just for 30 days, guys, I tell you, be willing to go 30 days, but trust me, you won't need to if you live by the law. But be willing to go 30 days, and don't even expect results until like near the end of it. And just focus on the journey. Experience your imagination again and again and again. Have fun with it, right? Carry that knowing of who you are, that it's on its way because I've experienced it. And because I'm aware that it's who I am now, it has no choice but to reflect, right? And carry that state like a fragrance, right? Try dwelling in it. And the more you practice dwelling in it, the more natural it's going to become. And that's all I want from you, okay, guys? So, you know, I'm going to try to keep this video short. We're at 21 minutes, almost 22. So I think I did a good job packing this video in, and I know a lot of you guys are going to be inspired by what I said. And just remember, guys, God became you so that you could realize that you were God. Don't let yourself down. It's in your full control. I'm telling you, as someone that has literally faced all the odds against me my whole life, and I've been able to crawl out every single time. And once I discovered the law, I realized why I was able to crawl out, because your mind is stronger than any circumstance out there. And don't be afraid of challenges. You're always going to have things that are going to be challenging you and challenging your mental diet and making you grow as a soul, as an eternal spirit. But embrace it. Embrace the scary parts, because it's temporary. If you trust what you do in here is the thing that's going to be pushed out here, then it makes no sense to then keep looking out here and reacting to everything and not feeling powerful. Test it for yourself. Like Neville says, don't trust me. Test him and see for yourself. And that's all I want from you guys, okay? So that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. And if you made it this far, hit that like button. I love you all very much, and I will see you all very soon.